This is your host, Jason Snellgrove, and I will be your guide as we journey down the road to pleasure hunt or hitting the long trail to those great comp hunts. This is the Coonhound Collective podcast. Alright, welcome to another episode of the Coonhound Collective. Big money? Huh, nothing but crickets. He's not here again. Yeah, last time I checked, he was still looking for that special walker dog in his life. I think he's got a line beat out on one right now that he's working an angle to try to get in his kennel. Letdown line of dogs, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe I can get a picture of it and post it on the Facebook page. He seems to be MIA as of late, but I'm sure here in the next episode or two he'll be back and we'll be back rolling. But today is going to be a solo episode. I've had some requests for the topic that I'm going to talk about today. But before we get into that, it's Autumn Oaks weekend. Autumn Oaks just got over, and I'm actually recording this on a Sunday afternoon, so I want to go through here real quick and congratulate the winners of Autumn Oaks National Grand Nite Champion. Grand Nite Champion, she's a bit shady. Tree and Walker female. Owner Derek Mills and Dennis Goodman. Congratulations, guys, on that win this weekend. National Grand Nite Champions of Breed. Black and Tan. Grand Champion, Grand Nite Champion. Patrick's Black River Tex. Ed Hildebrand was the owner. Grand Nite Champion. Champion Ralph's Crispy Fried Bacon. American Leopard Hound. Male. Owner Hunter Sneed. Crispy Fried Bacon. I like bacon. That's a good name. I like that. Blue Tick. Grand Nite Champion. Rock Creek Racket. Terry Tappy. English. Grand Nite Champion. Indian Creek's Loudmouth Hook. Michael Mitchell and Lee Wade. Grand Nite Champion. Savage. Redwood. Hokies Hatchet. Plot Male. Zachary Savage. Grand Nite Champion Kaufman's Worth the Wait. Redbone Mike Young. Grand Nite Champion, she's a bit shady, of course, who just said one. Night Champion Cast. Night Champion, Ice Cold Dirty Batman, Chad Maines. That will be a Tree and Walker. Night Champion, Wicked Ridge New Hooker, Tree and Walker, Trent Barker, John Wages. Night Champion, Indian Ridge Flint, English Dog, male. Owner, David Hausler. Night Champion, 4X007, Tree and Walker, Tristan Short, Logan Williams. Night Champion, Pierce, Blackwater's Jill, Tree and Walker, Kenny R. I think it's Pierce. Registered Cast, Full Throttle Ranger, Tree and Walker, Buck Sawyer. Midnight Froggo, Tree and Walker, Tim Smith. Set 'em Up Peppy, Tree and Walker, Matt Bebout and Jacob Roller. Bo the Show, English Dog, Justin Harper. Roberts Creek Rocky, Terry Roberts, Alex Roberts. Out of Your League, Tree and Walker, Ashley Dalton. Ice Cold Dirty Deeds 2, Tree and Walker, Chad Maines. Hardwood Crew, Tree and Walker, Dustin Darr and Blake White. Seven Oaks Hard Time Stella 2, an English. Brill Shoulders and Halls Fatal Harder Fried, I think's how you say it. Tree and Walker. Bradley Hall, Albert Hall. I'm assuming that is a Frogger dog, just by the way the name's spelled. So congratulations to all the winners there. There was some pro slams, so I'm going to try to cover those here if I can get all of it right. First place, I don't know which pro slam this is. First place, winning 7,500, was Night Champion Mojo's Catmandu, Tree and Walker, Scott Engel, Randy Morgan. Handled by Alan Carlson. Second place, winning 3,750, was Night Champion Schooner River Gunner, Tree and Walker, Alan Holding, Jason Cooper, Jace Cooper, handled by Jason Smith. Third place, winning 2,250, was Grand Nite Champion PR Insane Venus, Tree and Walker, Zach Reeves, handled by Steve Yett. Fourth place, 1,500, was Elb's Frog, Tree and Walker, Adam Elb, handled by Tyler Showalter. Let's see. Okay, National Grand Show Champion, I'm assuming this is World Show Champion, Grand Champion, Gilman's Good Time Blues, owned by Kelly and Dave Myers and handled by Miss Kelly, it looks like. Congratulations. Opposite sex was champion, Grand Champion, Midnight's Brindle Gina, a plot owned and handled by Connie Hogan. And I don't have all of it, but I do want to touch on the National Dual Champion. I know that's a title that a lot of people go after to try to get since they've started this, and so congratulations to this year's National Dual Championship winner for 2024, Grand Nite Champion, PR Black Jack's Hard Time Nova, an English female owned by Colton and Gunnar Heen, I think is how you say it. Nova is the first English to win the National Dual Championship since its inception in 2018. So congratulations to all those people out there and all your wins. So, I know there were some other winners, some cast winners that didn't have enough to get in the top 10, so congratulations to all y'all. Hopefully everybody is either on the way home safely or already made it home safely, getting ready to start a new week. Before we get into this week's topic, I do want to let you hear a word from our sponsor again this week, and that is Rick and Zach Gravetti with Coming In Clutch. Are you looking for a dog with drive, heart, hustle, a natural owner? Let me introduce to you a dog that fits that bill and then some. One that can add that extra gear to your females and the natural independence we are all looking for. One that when you need that clutch moment, look no further than Grand Nite Champion PR Coming In Clutch, owned by Rick and Zach Gravetti. You can contact them about breeding at 636-234-5062 or find them on Facebook. Grand Nite Champion Coming In Clutch. Alright, thanks guys for trusting us with your stud ad. If you're interested in a stud ad, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll see what we can get worked up for you and get you on the list here to get your stud ad run. We really appreciate those guys. Alright, man, I have gotten messages and emails and comments and so much interaction, and I really appreciate everybody who's reached out, whether it was just liking a post or sending an email, making a suggestion on topic, and that's where this week's topic comes from. Someone reached out, and unfortunately I could not find the email. I know it was sent through email, so I don't know if I accidentally got it deleted or what, but I do remember the person was from Canada, and they were just getting into coon hunting. Wanted to get into competition coon hunting, but didn't really know what to expect or where to start. So, that's what we're going to talk about. For one, getting into coon hunting. I see posts on Facebook all the time. Kid looking for a young dog, youth handler looking for a pup. And these are just my opinions, but let me say, if you can find someone that has an older dog that's maybe retired, that kind of already knows the ropes, that's going to bring that kid more value than giving him a puppy or getting him or her a puppy to get started with. And not just a kid, even someone that's just getting into the sport today. If they can wait, be patient, which is tough with all of us, be patient and go out and find that a little bit older dog or even a retired dog, you will be steps ahead in training a pup if you can go that route first. There's a lot of work when it comes to training pups, a lot of aggravation, a lot of people get frustrated, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but because I think me and Brett will talk about this, but people get frustrated with pups, with the age of social media. You see this pup's out here and he's running and treeing and they're competition hunting him and he's 10, 11, 12 months old, and maybe you see posts of 8, 9 month old pups treeing coons, whatever, to each their own, but every pup's different, and I wouldn't really get too bent out of shape if you're sitting there with a 10, 11, 12, maybe even a 15 month old dog, and it's just not where you want it to be. Some dogs just mature later than others. I mean, I've got one here. One night he looks good, and the next night he makes me want to pull my hair out and send him down the road somewhere. But he's still young. He's still got some maturing to do, and I don't give up on a pup unless it's just something really off the wall or something that me and that pup can't get along with until it's at least 2 years old. I try my best to hang on to them till they're 2. It don't always work like that, but I try to stick to that if I can. But so this week's topic: getting into coon hunting and what to expect when you're going to a competition hunt. So that was the question that was posed to me. They didn't really understand the competition hunts, and it's really going to be hard to explain, but I'll do the best I can. My first advice is find a club near you, whether it be a PKC or UKC club. There's clubs everywhere. Find a club near you. Try to reach out to someone at the club. See if you can go hunting with them some if you've not been hunting already. If you've been hunting and you're interested in competition hunting, see if you can go and walk along on a cast. That will be invaluable experience for you for sure. Just leave your dog at home, go to the club at hunt time, and we're going to discuss that in a minute, and just see if you can walk along as a spectator on a cast. That helps a lot to kind of bring all the pieces together. But first thing is, I'm not going to say you have to know the rules, because I know there's a lot of guys show up and they don't know the rules. You want to have a good idea of what the rules are and what you're supposed to do. So you can go on prohound.com if you're hunting PKC. They have the blue book listed there, and then I'm not too familiar with UKC's website, but I think you can get it there. If not, you can request a rule books. I actually have a rule book here laying next to me for UKC. I've read through some of the rules. Some of those may have changed on a previous podcast. I'm not going to do all that today, but because this is going to be kind of a short, quick podcast for today. Kind of have an idea what you're supposed to do, kind of what you're supposed to expect. Know when you're supposed to strike your dog. Know when you're supposed to tree your dog. Know your dog when you show up, and know that it's your dog that's barking. Those are probably the most important things. But to what to expect. So if you're, I hunt a lot of PKC, so that's what I'm going to talk about. UKC, this pretty much applies. They're all pretty similar. So PKC, get on prohound.com. Look at upcoming events. They're in order by date. When you go on their website, they're in order by date on there. Just scroll down through there and you'll see it'll be Alabama first and goes right down the list in alphabetical order. Go through that list, find your state. Like for me, it's Missouri, so I would find MO. I would see, you can kind of look several weeks ahead. I would look through there and see what club is closest to me. Find that club, whatever that would be, mark it on your calendar. Deadline is probably around 8, I would say right now, this time of year. And, you probably want to leave in time to get there so you can stop and get fuel, you can get food if you want it, whatever, get to the club. I would recommend 30 minutes early. That don't always happen. People have to work, and, people come in at the last minute at our club, pretty regular, and that's okay. That's no big deal. But, you're trying to learn, you're trying to understand what's going on. If you get there early, most of the time, it may take a little while for coon hunters to warm up to you. But once they do, they're pretty open about talking. I mean, my goodness, Brett won't even hardly let me. That's the reason why I'm doing a solo podcast. He won't even hardly let me talk when I'm on here, and it's my podcast. So he's a talker. Most people are like that. Most people, like Aaron Gamble. I mean, if you show up, he's going to introduce himself to you, and He'll talk to you like he's known you his whole life. So most people I would say that way. If you're listening to this and you're part of a club, you should be treating new people to show up that way. Be talkative to them. Be open to them. Don't be standoffish or like, who is this over here? Be open to them. We need to help build these clubs and bring people back to them. And yes, there's a lot of hunts and not many people show up to each one, but we do pretty good drawing a pretty decent crowd during the week to some of these PKC hunts. So when these new people show up, be inviting to them. Here's another thing. This is kind of a deer track here, but just bear with me. When these new people bring their dog and they show up to hunt, we are all there to win. But take a moment when you're out there in the cast and they're going to make a bad call. It's not probably going to determine the outcome of the cast. Teach them. Take that moment to teach them. Tell them what they should and shouldn't be doing. Kind of give them some guidance. I had a guy one time was going to tree his dog. He already won the cast. I couldn't win. Nobody else could win. But his dog come tree, and all he knew was strike and tree his dog. And he was going to tree his dog. And I said, wait a minute before you tree your dog. And I was the judge. Let me explain something to you. Take the time to explain so they understand. It helps people understand. It makes them feel welcome so you can grow your club. The more people that show up, PKC, the better the payout is. So just make sure you don't run people off of that. So anyway, you show up 30 minutes early, get out of the truck, get your dog out, tie your dog out to the tailgate or a fence or whatever's there. Get him some water. Find somebody to talk to. You don't have to go in or right then. Just shoot the junk with somebody. I mean, most coon hunters, like I said, love to talk. They love to talk dogs, and a lot of them like to talk about themselves. So just go stand around and talk with people, make friends. We live in a time where everything's through social media and looking at a screen and texting and messaging, and I think we're really losing the art of face-to-face communication. And so take the time, go sit down, talk to somebody. You don't have to be sitting there on your phone looking on Facebook. Put that up, go talk to somebody. That's how you make friends. Ask, hey, when should we interrupt? Most people are going to interrupt 5-10 minutes ahead of time. You'll go in, they'll have a little peel-off sticker looking thing. You'll put your dog's name, and in the case of PKC, you'll put your dog's name, PKC number, your name, your PKC number if you have one, or you can just put guest, because you can hunt as a guest, and if your dog's not registered, same deal. And then you just pay your entry. If it's during the week, it's probably a $35. So you give the hunt director your $35. Here's another thing coming from a hunt director. If you know today that tomorrow night you're going to a PKC hunt, for all hunt directors out there, and I'll wait for your applause, please stop and get change for those guys. Take the correct change. We have a hard time coming up with change. We end up having to go to the store, or we have to make plans ahead of time, and a lot of guys do really good at doing that. I try to make sure I got change for everybody the best I can, and then change to make payout. So if you can help the guy out, stop and get change, correct change. Just stop somewhere and get a 20 broke, bring him $35. It's not that hard. Try to bring the correct change. You enter your dog, you pay your hunt director. Your hunt director will then, once all dogs are entered, will draw the cast. He'll pick his judges first. Those will go on the card, and then the judges will, let me back up. He'll pick the judges first. The judges will draw their guides. Those will go on the card. Then each judge will draw slips for the remaining cast. There, that's how it's supposed to be done. Once those are stuck, the hunt director will call out the cast. Just keep an eye out on who your judge and guide is. Whenever they call them, pretty much the hunt director will hand that card to the judge of your cast. So if it's me as the judge and the guide, and you're on my cast, when that hunt director hands me the card, just walk over there, stand by the guy when they get through talking. Just say, hey, what vehicle you riding in? Can I follow you if you want to ride with them? Hey, do you got room for me to ride? Some people do, some people don't. Don't take it personal. Some people just don't like people riding with them, and that's okay too. It's not a big deal. Then you're going to go out to a place where, say if I'm guiding to one of my places that I hunt, you're going to get your dog out, make sure you got your track only tracking collar on your dog. Make sure you're linked up. Make sure you got everything you need this time of year, your vest, your water, or if you towed any of that or not, or whatever, your light, your boots. Make sure you're ready to go when you leave that clubhouse if you can be. Then you line up the 3 dogs or the 4 dogs, depending on how big of a cast it is, and they cut loose. There is a 1 minute, quote unquote, babble time every time you cut these dogs. So, in PKC. So when you cut the dogs loose, they may bark. You do not have to strike your dog till that minute's over. Now, if you do strike that dog before the minute's over, he's got to carry a track out of there. So just keep that in mind. Then pretty much once you cast those dogs, the judge will say, hey, minute's up, 3rd bark, you strike your dog. You basically strike your dog when he strikes the first time, and then when he comes treed, you tree him. The judge, once the dog is treed, the judge will say, okay, time's on the tree, whatever registry you're hunting in. That's the reason why I said know the rules. I'm not going to go through all that. You'll go into the tree, and if your dog has first tree, the judge is going to say, do you want any help shining? Basically what he's saying is you have 2 minutes to shine that tree alone. Very rarely have I ever heard anybody say, yeah, I want to shine it by myself. Guys, if you're there and the new guy's there, don't be a prick. Help them shine the tree. If they got a coon and they beat you, they got a coon and they beat you. It just is what it is. This is how we get new people into the sport. Shine the tree. Help them shine the tree. That's the gentleman thing to do. I withdrawed my dog on the last tree the other night, but I shined that tree just as long as the guy that had the dog that had the first tree. I want to help him find his coon if it's there. There was no coon there, but if he thought there was one there, I'm going to look unless it's obvious slick. So help the guy shine the tree. Once that's done, you determine if there's a coon there, if it's slick, or if it's circled. Whatever there, the judge says, okay, I'm going to start the minute. You walk 1 minute. This is PKC. You don't do this in UKC. You can just recut right off the tree if you want to in UKC, or you can leave them on the lead. But in PKC, you walk your minute. Judge says minute's up. You wait before you cut it. Make sure the other dogs are opening. If they're not, the judge will put the 6 on them. Once the 6 is applied and those dogs open, then the judge will tell you to cut. You cut the dogs loose, your dog loose, in whatever direction he says send them. You'll send your dog, and the process starts over. This happens for 60 minutes. Then end of the hunt, whoever won, you can kind of keep up with it. You probably have an idea of who's winning or losing. But at the end of the hunt, the judge will have each person sign the back on PKC, sign the back of the scorecard and verify that that is the score. Make sure you don't get mad and leave the cast. Sign the card. Just sign the card. It's okay. And that's pretty much how it goes. And for the most part, most people are welcoming. Most people are willing to help. If you show up to one of our hunts, me, Aaron, Stan, that's what we are looking to do. We want to help people. Now, does that happen in every cast that comes out of our club? No, because we're not judging every cast. But if you draw us and we're judging, if you're new, we want you to understand what's going on, and we want you to have a good time. We want you to come back. We don't want you to say, well, they buddied up on me and beat me. That's not the case. If you get beat, you get beat. It just is what it is. You ain't going to win them all, Brett. But just show up, communicate with people, talk with people, kind of try to befriend a few people. I mean, that's how me and Brett met over these coon dogs, and I mean, we've become, I would think, and I think if he'd sit here would say the same thing, we've become really good close friends over this. Me and Aaron Gamble met at a coon hunt. Even though his parents don't live very far down the road from me, we met at a coon hunt, and we've become pretty good close friends, I think. You know, guys that I can call and get advice and talk to, and that's how it is. You build relationships through coon hunting. It ain't always about the coon dogs and going out there winning. There is times when it's about what it's about, but it ain't. It ain't always about that. When me and Aaron draw each other, before we draw out, hey, we're buddies and we're cutting up and stuff, and we're still cutting up and talking when we're out there hunting, but we're competitors, and when it's over, it's over. You know, we get along. So that's pretty much the gist of it. I know I've had the one person from Canada. I think there was a couple other people that had asked me to kind of go over this. Hopefully that answered some questions and shedded some light on this topic, you know, of what to expect when you're showing up at a hunt. And I went over PKC. That's what I hunt mostly. And UKC is pretty much the same way. Just read through your rule book, whichever kennel club you hunt for. Read through your rule book, understand the basics of the rules, and the rest will come as you go. And a lot of times you can read through the rules and be like, that don't make no sense to me. But when you get out in a cast, in a hunting situation, that rule will then make sense. So read through your rule book. Try to know it as best you can. I mean, the better you know it, the better off you're going to be. You'll know, hey, that ain't right. That ain't what the rule says. I guess in conclusion, because I've been rambling here for 30 minutes. I thought I wasn't even going to be able to talk for 2 minutes about this, but been rambling here for 30 minutes. So in conclusion, know your rules. Show up a few minutes early. Get out of the truck. Get off of Facebook. Don't just sit in the truck. Mingle. Get out and talk to people. Make friends. Build relationships. That's what a lot of this sport's about. When that judge says, cut them, time of the hunt starts, that's when it's about business. That's when you call your dog for what it's doing, and you use those rules for your advantage the best you can. Know your rules. Whenever that hunt's over, hopefully, you have maybe made a new friend or two, exchanged some phone numbers, texting, messaging, whatever, so you can kind of have some help along the way, and maybe even build a relationship that you have somebody you can go hunting with to help you work on a dog when you have an issue with one. I mean, I rely pretty heavily on Brett and Aaron and some of these other guys, Mike Stepp, to really, I lean on those guys to help me out with issues when I have issues with dogs. And they've been a great help. So, that's an important part of the relationship part. With all that said, just show up, have a good time. That's the most important thing first. You go to enough of them, the winning will come. You'll understand the rules better. You'll realize, hey, I've either got a really good dog that can do this, or I don't have the right caliber dog. And that's a podcast for another time that maybe me and Brett can talk about, but the different calibers of dogs, because there is and they're out there, trust me. But just have a good time. That's the biggest thing. Make relationships, build friendships. That will help you in the world of coon hunting more than you know. Because I guarantee you're going to run up on something where you go, man, why did that dog do that? And then you remember, oh, I met so-and-so over here at the clubhouse. Maybe if I call him, he's had this situation come up, and he can kind of walk me through this. That's what it's about. That's what I love about the local club. I know everybody says the local club's dying. Well, it may be, but I can tell you this. Aaron Gamble had 18 dogs show up on a Tuesday night. I've had that many on a Monday night. We both averaged around 12 to 14 dogs on a weeknight. That's a pretty good showing. So, yeah, the numbers are down, but there's a lot more hunts than there's ever been. And in that gives you a lot more opportunity to build more relationships and grow your friendship base that can help you with training your dog, learning these hunts. So anyway, I hope that answers your questions. We have some other great topics coming up, and I'm going to just touch on them here briefly. I'm not going to go into them because these are topics that Brad he's really, he has really put a lot of research and studying into some of these things, and some of it is just stuff he knows, and he keeps saying everybody knows that, and I keep telling him they don't. So we'll see by how many downloads we get on the podcast when we play them. But one of the things we're going to talk about, and we're lining up interviews now, it's going to be a multi-part series, and you see it every week on Facebook, dog food. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the ins and outs, the benefits of different ones, and all kind of stuff. But we'll get into that to another time. Another one that we're going to talk about, and I'm trying to get him nailed down so we can get this done pretty soon here, is the collection, storing, and shipping of chilled or frozen semen, how to use it, when to use it, do I need a vet, do I not need a vet. We're going to talk about that. But despite what Brett says, he is very knowledgeable in this area, and he does know his stuff. So that's another one. And interviews. We have several people lined up to interview. It's Autumn Oaks week. It's tough to get anybody this week. Brett's been dealing with some issues, some sickness and stuff, so that kind of run into it. But we got some great interviews coming up that will be just the old school style podcast. So just stay tuned. Hey, if you're listening to this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. It don't cost nothing. If you're listening to this on Apple, if you haven't already, leave us 5 stars. Just drop. You ain't got to say nothing but, hey, love the podcast, whatever. Just leave us a comment. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Podbean, wherever you can rate this podcast, please do. Something else, I'm going to try to get some more show people on here. Seemed like a lot of people enjoyed those couple episodes I've done with show people, and I've got some people that are willing to do it, so we're going to get them on here and we're going to talk some show dogs. So stay tuned. We got a lot going on. It's been a busy summer. We're getting into fall. It's fixing to be time to really start pushing some dogs and hunting. It's fixing to get cooler weather. It's going to be nice. I've got young dogs I'm going to be hunting. Brett's got some young dogs he's going to be hunting. Hopefully I can get some video, good, bad, or ugly, of that and get it posted over on the YouTube channel. So just stay tuned. We're working on a lot of different things here. We're going to try to bring you some really good interviews and some content that I really think you can gain some knowledge from. So stay tuned. I appreciate everybody that's reached out, sent an email, commented on a video, commented on a podcast, rated a podcast. We really appreciate those things. And I never would have dreamed would get to where it was at today when I started this with Tyler at Coonhound University a couple years ago. So thank you. Thank you everybody that listens. Please share this on all your social media platforms, wherever they would be. Please share this podcast there. Help us grow this group. And thank you for listening to the Coonhound Collective again this week. Do we need to cut our lights off? Is this a trespassing area?
No, but they're going to see where we walk through this wet grass in this field.
Do we need to run to them?
I'm not running to mine, but...
What the heck was
Hold
that?
on, turn your light off. Well, they're not armadillo dogs.
Hey, Russ has got an $18 dog lead on a $2 gate.
Huh.
Is them dogs split? Or are they just echoing down that hall?
Not unless you own a coyote. That coyote's split. Hey, turn your light off.
We might be trespassing. Thanks guys for listening to the Coonhound Collective podcast today. We really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to listen to the podcast. If you don't mind, head over to Facebook and give us a like, and head over to Instagram and give us a follow. It's both at the Coonhound Collective. Also, if you would like to reach us here at the Coonhound Collective, you can reach us at thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. If there's someone that you would like to hear on the podcast or a product that you would like to hear talked about, please send it to thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. Thanks again. Have a great day.